I'm about to be the only, everybody gonna know me, gonna be the only one to take it on.
Hi again, gang. Brett Wolverton here in the Premier Wrestling Experience Event Center. After an unbelievable end to 2017 with Unsanctioned, PWX kicks off in grand fashion with the X16 Tournament. The opening round takes place on Saturday, January 13th at the Carol Hoffner Center in Charlotte, North Carolina with a 7 p.m. bell time, and the quarterfinals, semifinals, and finals will take place at Cabarrus Arena in Concord, North Carolina on Sunday, January 14th with a 3 p.m. bell time. Following two highly regarded tournaments, the X16 is becoming the most prestigious two-night tournament on the independent scene. 16 superstars from all over the globe are looking to make history in Charlotte and Concord as only the third superstar to become X16 champion. And this year the tournament will mean even more, as the winner of this year's X16 tournament will earn the right to face whoever is the PWX World Heavyweight Champion in the main event of Battlefield X, The Road to Rise of a Champion, on Sunday, February 18th, 2018 in Gastonia, North Carolina. Let us take a look now at the opening round of this year's X16. Corey Hollis to square off against Joe Black. Corey Hollis walks into the X16 with momentum and a chip on his shoulder after defeating former tag team partner and best friend, the Southern Savior John Schuyler, at Unsanctioned. Now Hollis looks to win his first X16 tournament and go on to potentially his first PWX World Heavyweight title. His opponent, Joe Black, returns to PWX for the first time since the season's deleting in December of 2016 and hopes to use the X16 to springboard him back up the rankings in PWX. Joe Black enters the X16 at a disadvantage, as one must believe that with Hollis in Charlotte, his stablemates and Corey Hollis's country jacked, Brady Pierce and Gunnar Miller, will be somewhere watching nearby. The addition of these two giants to Hollis's side could very well send Corey all the way to the finals. Other tournament matches see PWX Innovative Television Champion, the revolutionary Darius Lockhart, taking on Myron Reed. Myron Reed is making his PWX debut at the X16 and could not have drawn a better opponent in the current PWX Innovative Television Champion. While the X16 will be the first appearance of Reed in a PWX ring, he has had battles all over the United States with PWX superstars such as the Ugly Ducklings, Timmy Lou Retton, and David Starr. Lockhart has been on a winning streak as PWX Innovative Television Champion with recent victories over Nathan Cruz and Drew Adler. While the Innovative Television title is not on the line in the X16, a spot in the quarterfinals certainly is. This one could very well steal the show on night one. While on the topic of Drew Adler, Adler will see first round competition against another man that has held the PWX Innovative Television title, and that man is the New Age enforcer, James Drake. The year 2017 started off with Drew Adler not even a member of the active roster. Appearances on the PWX Pure show led to making the main roster and even a match for the Innovative Television title for Adler. On January 13th, his path leads to the X16. However, his road to the finals has one big hurdle in the opening round in the form of James Drake. Drake has had the brass ring that is the PWX World Heavyweight title in his grasp several times over 2017, but each time fell just a bit short. Now Drake looks to the X16 to finally win the big one and earn another shot at the heavyweight championship. Drake has made it crystal clear that he hopes his path to the X16 championship includes a match against Elijah Evans IV. And if he can get past Drew Adler in the first round, he may just get his wish. Following the brutal unsanctioned match with Corey Hollis at PWX Unsanctioned, the Southern Savior John Schuyler found himself with a laundry list of injuries. At the beginning of December, he appeared on PWX executive producer Patrick Price's Open Forum show to talk about what doctors had to say and what the future of his career would be. Let's hear those words now.
Doctors have kind of advised me to slow down a little bit, and it's tough when your heart wants to keep going, and with professional wrestling, it's something it's my passion. It's something I've always wanted to do ever since I was a kid. And then when you're physically unable to compete at your best, it's a tough pill to swallow. And so doctors' orders have said that they want me to kind of slow down a little bit and reevaluate some things. But I think, Patrick, you know me better than just about anybody. I've never taken orders from anybody.
That's
I've
true.
never really taken orders from doctors either. And that's why I'm on here to announce that I will be throwing my name into the hat of the field of 16 for this year's X16 tournament. And I will be competing in January in the 2018 X16 tournament.
Skyler enters his second X16 tournament on January 13th against Doctor's Wishes. Following the hellacious street fight we saw at Unsanctioned, Skyler is another superstar hoping to get his hands on a bitter rival in the later rounds of the tournament against Corey Hollis. But before he can even think about his match with Hollis, he'll be going one-on-one with New Japan Pro Wrestling superstar Juice Robinson. Robinson's successes in New Japan have made him an early favorite to win the entire X16 tournament, as New Japan Pro Wrestling events are often held in a tournament format. While Robinson might be new to PWX, he has experience in New Japan against the likes of former PWX World Heavyweight Champion Sami Callihan and former PWX Tag Team Champion Hangman Adam Page. This could have easily been the final match of the X16 tournament, but luck of the draw has it in the opening round. While the X16 tournament will see the debut of Myron Reed and Juice Robinson, it will also see a huge return in the form of former PWX Tag Team Champion and now a former British World Heavyweight Champion, Draper, North Carolina's own Harlem Bravado. Bravado has spent his time in the United Kingdom building a career as a single star and hopes to use his international experience to win the X16 tournament and move on to the PWX World Heavyweight title. Looking to literally and figuratively knock Harlem Bravado out of the X16 tournament is the only superstar who has competed in both previous tournaments and was the first to qualify for this year's X16 Do or Die Chip Day. Day is the holder of the Opportunity Knocks contract, a contract that he has from now until Rise of a Champion to cash in on. One must wonder if Day's mind is still on that Opportunity Knocks contract, or if he looks to use the X16 as an extra insurance policy on a PWX heavyweight title match. The man known as Kick Jagger looks to put an Atlanta arrow into Harlem Bravado's return to North Carolina at the X16. The Syndicate's Elijah Evans IV has promised that he will not be denied what he feels is rightly his in the form of the X16 Championship, and that he will make his way through the tournament on his own without the Syndicate at ringside, as they have their own match on night one of the tournament. That we'll get to in just a little bit. Evans draws Sugar Dunkerton as his opponent in the first round of X16. Dunkerton's last appearance with PWX saw the man known as Shinsuke Chakamura getting a countout victory over Corey Hollis. At X16, Dunkerton will not be able to sing and dance his way through the tournament as he takes on a superstar that has only suffered one pinfall loss in his entire PWX tenure, former Innovative Television Champion Elijah Evans IV. Tracer X may have the biggest underdog story in this year's X16 tournament. At Unsanctioned, Tracer defeated the only two-time finalist in X16 history and the man that defeated him in the quarterfinals of the second X16 tournament, Ethan Case, to take the final qualifying match for this year's tournament. Can that victory keep Tracer X on the right path as he squares off on night one with international superstar Serpentico? Serpentico is a talented lucha superstar coming out of the 3D Wrestling Academy and has been working his way throughout the United States, Mexico, and Puerto Rico, earning victory after victory. On January 13th, these two incredible high flyers will take to the PWX ring and the skies with a shot at the quarterfinals on the line. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, it's going to happen, and it's going to happen at the X16 tournament when White Mike battles the King of Taunts and a dozen other nicknames, David Starr, in the final opening round matchup. While David Starr has been a little more serious in recent PWX appearances, one must think that a matchup with the likes of White Mike could bring about plenty of unexpected and entertaining moments. This is David Starr's second X16 appearance, having competed in the first X16 tournament in 2015. And now he looks to go even farther in this year's event. White Mike is competing in his first tournament, but cannot be taken lightly either, as he's battled some of the top PWX superstars with impressive results. The opening round of the X16 tournament isn't the only thing that fans at the Carol Hofner Center can look forward to on January 13th for night one of the X16. The PWX Tag Team Championship will be decided when champions Timmy Lou Retton and Boss, representing the Syndicate, battle Coach Mikey's Ugly Ducklings team of Off Kilter, Rob Killjoy, and Lance Lude. Fans, this will be no ordinary Tag Team Championship match on the 13th, but instead the tag team titles will be decided in a Ducks, Ladders, and Chairs match. This one-of-a-kind match selected by the Ugly Ducklings following Coach Mikey's victory over the Tommy Thomas in a tuxedo match at Unsanctioned. Recently, the Ugly Ducklings had words about their opponents on social media. However, what the Ducklings didn't know was that the Syndicate were nearby to hear everything. Let's take a look at what happened once the Ducklings cameras stopped rolling.
Quack! Oh, shit!
Yeah. Yeah.
Get you some.
Hey, let me get some of this.
Yeah. Yeah. You hear that?
Duck, ladders, and chairs, huh?
Uh-huh. Oh my, right? Oh my, right?
Yeah.
Yes. 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 Yeah. Boss, hold this. Come here. Come here. Hold this. You say that? This is the closest. You and Rob are ever going to get this again. Quack! Quack! Quack!
Will Lance Lude be 100% going into the DLC match at X16, or have the Syndicate ensured that they will walk out of the X16 with the Tag Team Championship? Those questions will be answered on Night 1 of the X16 tournament. Night 2 of the X16 will feature the quarterfinal matches, semifinal matches, and the final match of the X16 tournament, where we will crown the new #1 contender for the PWX World Heavyweight Championship, and we'll know who will main event Battlefield X, the road to Rise of a Champion. What we do not know yet is who will be the PWX World Heavyweight Champion by Battlefield X. With his thoughts on the PWX World Title match at X16, here is the PWX World Heavyweight Champion, Anthony Henry.
January 13th and 14th, PWX is coming back. PWX is making its long-awaited return, and it's a very special event for us. It's a very special event. It's special because it's the event that started the rise of Anthony Henry, that started the rise of the Lethal Lovers. Now, I could just sit back. I could just watch the talent do their thing. I could watch as the bodies pile up, as the broken bodies pile up, the injuries pile up. But me being the greatest PWX champion there ever was, well, I just can't do that. We just can't do that. So what we are gonna do instead, that open challenge that we did the last time PWX ran a show, that open challenge where Fred Yehi came in and thought that he was gonna take my crown, we're gonna do that again. Lethal Lovers open challenge. Anybody, everybody, come to PWX. Come in the ring, come in the Lethal Lovers ring and see if you can take me down. I don't think you can. I don't think anybody can. Why? Because we're the greatest thing going. And I am the greatest PWX champion ever.
As you've heard, the challenge has been laid out, and the PWX World Heavyweight title will be on the line during Night 2 of PWX X16, when Anthony Henry, along with his Lethal Lover Amber Young, puts the title on the line in the next Lethal Lovers Open Challenge. Fans, you will not have to wait until January 14th to find out who Anthony Henry's opponent will be, as the challenge has been accepted. And here on the PWX Event Center, I can now confirm that on Sunday, January 14th at Cabarrus Arena in Concord, North Carolina, PWX World Heavyweight Champion Anthony Henry will defend his title against former WWE World Tag Team Champion Joey Mercury. That's right, Mercury, recognized as the current MCW Heavyweight Champion, looks to add more championship gold to his collection when he battles Henry in Concord. Can Anthony Henry defeat a former WWE Tag Team Champion, or will the reign of the Lethal Lovers conclude on the final night of the X16? Which of these two athletes will go on to Battlefield X, the road to Rise of a Champion, and defend their title against the winner of the X16 tournament? That question to be answered on January 14th. Wrestling fans, I am honored to announce that for this year's X16 tournament, the broadcast booth will be occupied by New Japan Pro Wrestling's Kevin Kelly. And as first announced on social media, Kevin Kelly will be joined by Ring of Honor's Brutal Bob Evans, as Kelly and Evans will be the official broadcast team for the X16 tournament this year. We are excited to have both gentlemen hosting this great weekend of wrestling action. Tickets for both night of the X16 start at just $12 for adults and are available for purchase at pwxpro.com/live. There are currently some great deals on tickets through our website, so we encourage you to get your tickets early online and make sure you do not miss a moment of the action January 13th at the Carol Hoffner Center in Charlotte, North Carolina at 7 p.m. for night 1 of the X16 tournament, along with the Syndicate versus the Ugly Ducklings in a Ducks, Ladders, and Chairs match for the PWX Tag Team titles, or for January 14th at Cabarrus Arena in Concord at 3 p.m. when we have the quarterfinals, the semifinals, and the finals of the X16 tournament, along with Anthony Henry defending the PWX World title against former WWE Tag Team Champion and current MCW Heavyweight Champion Joey Mercury. Fans, who knows what we could see in the tournament this year? Could we see Skyler versus Hollis Part 2? Will James Drake get a match against Elijah Evans IV? Will Chip Day have 2 guaranteed shots at PWX Gold with a victory in the tournament? What we do know is that there will be a brand new X16 champion crown when the dust settles on January 14th in Concord, North Carolina. And the main event for Battlefield X, the road to Rise of a Champion, will be determined. I personally cannot wait for this year's tournament and the first 2 PWX events of 2018. Fans, for the Event Center, I'm Brett Wolverton.
16 competitors, 2 nights, the biggest tournament of the Carolinas. Join PWX Wrestling January the 13th at Carol Huffner Center and January 14th at Cabarrus Arena as X16 returns. Tickets available at pwxpro.com. PWX, live the experience.